not every day that you get to come to work and be with zombies. And speaking of zombies, more notably, Monroeville Mall was a location for the zombie scenes in the classic horror film Dawn of the Dead, directed by George Romero in 1978. The beloved footbridge, also known as the Zombie Bridge, will be packed up and moved to its final resting place, the Center John Hines History Center. The dismantled bridge to the left of me, the final set piece of the Pittsburgh cinematic history, will be transported today to the Heinz History Center with the help of our zombie friends. Now, I would like to introduce to you Kevin Price, Living Dead Museum owner out of Evans City, PA. Kevin's knowledge of these zombie films surpasses boast. We are honored to have Kevin here to talk a little bit about the Zombie Bridge.
Why or how did it get that way? I've grown up in Pittsburgh, and I've been interested in this one film that was filmed. There's a Pittsburgh film company that made it called Night of the Living Dead in the 60s. It was filmed in Evans City. And what I've noticed over the years, this is kind of where the history comes into this, is that 20 years or so in, all these influences, everything in pop culture has been affected and influenced by this one movie. And then, and its sequels, Dawn of the Dead, which was filmed here in the mall. So, about 8 years ago, I decided to tell that story, to make it my mission to explain to the world that all this stuff you're seeing that's happening in pop culture history, these influences, all came from Pittsburgh. It all came from this one independent film that was started in Pittsburgh. And the means that I set out to do that was to have a little museum here in this mall, the Monroeville Mall, which was the set for Dawn of the Dead. And I started to tell that story. And I didn't know a lot of people at the time, and over the years I've gotten to meet everybody that's involved in this industry and these movies, and it's been a great run. The museum itself in the mall was very small and had very little in it, and it mostly was just telling the story of how this is important. And what made the museum work was that the mall itself was the exhibit. Every piece of thing that was in this mall was the exhibit that people were coming to see, including the footbridge that was used in the movie. And then during my years at the mall progress occurred. You know, the mall is a place of commerce and business, and progress must happen in order to keep it viable. There's been some remodeling, and the mall's lost a few of its exhibits. A lot of this scenes were filmed in front of JCPenney's and in Penny's, and all that stuff is gone now. And the last remaining piece of original decor that's part of the original decor of the mall from when it was built, and also the decor in the movie Dawn of the Dead, was this footbridge. So I heard that it was leaving the mall, not leaving the mall, but just being, a casualty of the remodeling process. And I originally inquired what happened is saved for an exhibit for my museum, and I never really heard much about it. And then a group of fans started calling, kind of like bugging me, like, you gotta do something about this, you gotta save this bridge. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It's not really my role exactly to interfere with what's going on there. I said, if you want to have an effective campaign to save the bridge, the fans should do it. Just stand up and create a petition and do something. My hands are tied. So that's what they did. Some fans got together, they created a petition. It started to get picked up and go a little bit viral. I suggested that not to make the petition about my museum, but to include the Heinz History Center in the mix, to give it, it would draw more attention. The mall would, be more interested in preserving it at a place as renowned as the Heinz History Center. So here we are today. It got picked up by the media, and some might wonder why am I speaking here? My museum isn't getting it. It's the Heinz History Center, and my original mission with my museum was to tell a story about why Pittsburgh is important, why Pittsburgh and its history and its effects in pop culture have made where we are today with zombies and all this influence, why it's important to draw that attention. And what I thought about it was, just when I was trying to think of what I'm going to say here, is that, really the mission was successful, because now the Heinz History Center is joining in with the same mission to point out this importance of Pittsburgh's film history and pop culture history. And that just elevates the campaign of what I've been trying to do all along to a higher level. And I'm extremely pleased to see it go to this home and see it saved, and so everybody can still have access to it and see it for many years to come. Thank you.
Yay!
I'd like to introduce to you the project manager from the Heinz History Center, Lauren Old, and she'll speak a little bit to you about this project.
Thank you!
These are my prepared remarks, but these are the people I've met here today. The people I've met here are much more interesting than anything I can tell you. I'm not sure which side you're looking for. About a year ago, the Heinz History Center started a new collecting initiative. We had watched for some time movies come and go in the area, drawn here recently because of the tax credits that are available. And we kind of mourned this loss of history to ourselves. So about a year ago, we finally got ourselves together and began to approach some of the producers and publicists of the productions coming into town. And they were very gracious, and we had very good fortune getting promises out of them to eventually, when the movies are out, allow us to have costumes and props and a lot of the archival material that they use, the behind-the-scenes kind of things, whether it's scripts or sketches or storyboards. So we had great luck doing that. But at the same time, of course, being historians, we thought, all of these great movies that have already been shot here, how are we going to document those as well? And so we pondered, how would we network with people? Who could we possibly turn to? And this spring, serendipity happened for us, thanks to the zombies. One of my colleagues, Emily Ruby, got an email one day from a concerned zombie fan that Monroeville Mall was redecorating and the bridge was going to be removed and they needed a new home for it. So we all looked at each other and said, hot dog, this is perfect. This is exactly what we are looking for. So we called the mall right away and said that we were interested in it and had some logistical discussions with them back and forth. And we're delighted to learn that they were willing to donate the bridge to the Heinz History Center for our permanent collection. Thank you very much to all the zombies and everybody else who worked with us to make that happen. So I know one of the questions zombies and others have been asking is, will the bridge be on display right away? And the answer is no, not right away. However, we have big plans for it. Out of this initiative has grown a plan for us to open in 2018 a new exhibit on the history of Pittsburgh and Hollywood. From its earliest days at Nickelodeon and Warner Brothers being here, through the golden age of Hollywood when Jimmy Stewart and Gene Kelly are at the peak of their careers, to independent filmmakers like George Romero, to the productions that they're doing today. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. It's a rich and deep history, and we are anxious to get on with it. So it's a big plan, but we are looking forward to it. So we sincerely thank, on behalf of everybody at the Heinz History Center, we thank the people at the mall who have made this iconic donation to us for our permanent collection, as well as all the zombies who played such a great part in that. We're as anxious to have it open again as you are. So thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lauren. We are honored to have Mr. Lenny Lies here with us. He played the machete zombie in the film. It has a famous scene film here at the mall. He also served as a grip on the film and was here through all the mall scenes. Let's give a warm welcome to Lenny Lies.
What? I didn't know my whole family was going to be here today. Hey, Kelly, I want to tell you that you're getting a very rare artifact. Not because it came from a mall, but it came from, think of George Romero as the Pope, and think of the mall as Vatican City. And if you took an artifact from Vatican City, it probably has been looked at by at least millions of people over the ages. So here we have a mall donating this bridge to the Heinz History Center. And you're going to wind up having thousands of more people coming to the Science Center just because of this one bridge. And anything else you save from Dawn of the Dead. Because, when George Romero created Dawn of the Dead, he created a film that became people's religion. I know people, fans tell me, I've seen this film 300 times, 400 times, 500 times. And I say, what do you do with the rest of your life? But this place has become Mecca for true horror fans, for especially zombie fans. I mean, zombies. I mean, people come here from places like Australia and Germany and London on their vacations. Not because they have to, not because they work here, but because this is Mecca. This is where you go to see a living museum, this mall. And it amazes me because I've given tours to people from all over the world here, just impromptu, that Leonard, I'm coming to town, I'm coming from London, I'm coming from Germany, I'm coming from Nashville. Can you give me a tour? And so I'll try to set it up in such a way that there's more than one person coming. And they relish every moment like they're bending down in the Vatican and praying, and they're lighting candles. And the bridge is a candle that's never going to go out because this film is going to be popular infinitely. It's going to outlive all of us. So I just want to thank George Romero and the whole crew that was involved, Richard Rubenstein, because without all those people, this moment, that event in time would never have happened. And I just want to say thank you all for coming and being interested. And go to the, Heinz History Center as soon as the exhibit opens and show them your zombie stripes because it's an amazing, amazing event. And I want to thank you all.
Okay, we will now ask the zombies to walk along the side of the bridge as we parade the bridge to the exit and load the pieces to the Heinz History Center in the van. Again, thank you all for your attendance today. Stay tuned for the future fun that we're going to have here at Monroeville Hall.